time is 4:46 and officially calling the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Board Member Elena Gonzalez.
Present.
Board Member Eric Molina. Absent. Board Clerk Librelo Nathaniel Sit.
Present.
Board Vice President Mary Sanchez.
Present.
Board President Martin Mares.
Present.
Let the record show a quorum has been established.
Thank you, George. Want to welcome everybody here, all our cabinet members and special guests and technology and our bilingual folks that are here for today's meeting. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Mary. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sid. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, 4-0. Public comment on closed session agenda items. Is there anybody here to address the board on closed agenda items?
No, there's no public comment.
Nobody? As we go into closed session, the board will be going to closed session. Oh, yeah. As we go into a closed session, we'll be going to, at, what time is it?
4:47.
4:47. Number one, deliberation of student expulsions, readmission matters. Education sections 35-146, 48916 and 48918. Number A, deliberation of stipulated expulsion. Number two, conference of legal counsel, anticipated litigation. Number three, conference of legal counsel. Number one, case 24 CE CGO 4159. And number two, case number CF 927240, 4 CEC. Number four, public employee dismissal, release, resignation, leave of absence. And number five, conference of labor negotiators. That's it. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Number five, conference of labor negotiators. We have with us, number A, employee organization, the California School Employees Association. And B, employee organization, Partner Faculty Association, PFA. With that, is there a motion to approve the agenda items? Motion by Mary, second.
Second.
Second by Elena, all in favor? Aye. So we will reconvene. We will go to our closed session and then we'll come back right now. Okay, oh, well, thank you.
All right, board members and cabinet joining us today. It will be also Ms. Regalado in closed session, but we're going to go to the very back door. And I know that we do have, George, dinner right here, right? In the cafeteria area. So anyone wanting to have dinner first, and then we'll meet in the very last door in the lunchroom. Thank you.
about damages and dangers not only on fentanyl but other drugs as well. It was something very important as we are a small community and value the friendships of our peers. On February 14th, we had the 8th grade visitation where we showcased pathways and college opportunities these students will have when they enter the high school next year. This will help them decide what pathways they may want to join next year and possibly help them choose a career path. This past week, four Parler High School students and their advisor, Ms. Acevedo, attended the Young Workers Leadership Academy at UC Berkeley, where they spent 3 days learning about workers' rights, workplace safety, and leadership. Through interactive workshops and discussions, they gained valuable knowledge about labor laws and youth employment protections, empowering them to advocate for fair and safe working conditions. This experience not only strengthened their leadership skills, but also equipped them to educate others and make a positive impact in their community. We are proud of their dedication and excited to see them put their knowledge into action. We would like to congratulate the following students for their hard work and dedication. The following students have competed in Skills USA and placed fifth or higher, making them state qualifiers. They have competed with 32 different schools and over 1,300 participants. Way to go, Panthers. We can't wait to see what you guys accomplish at states. None of them are here, but we'll still announce them. So Anaí Heredia placed first place in practical nursing. Jesus Gomez, Brianna Andrade, and Mia Moreno placed third place in chapter display. Genesis Laurel and Soraya Martinez placed third in web design. Christy Gomez placed fourth in health occupations professional portfolio. And Jasmine Saldana placed fourth in medical math. Again, we are beyond proud and excited to see what you guys will accomplish at state. 14 PHS CNA students were selected to be interviewed on February 20th for the Sierra Kings Healthcare District Scholarship. Sierra Kings will be awarding a total of 20 scholarships for $1,000 each. We are proud of each and every one of these students. From February 17th through the 21st was National FFA Week. Our Ag Department program had various activities throughout the week and had a fun dress-up days. The excitement from the students for the lunch activities was through the roof. The students had a blast as well as teachers and staff. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that definite report, very comprehensive report, and I hope today that gets better. I know you were just a little ill yourself, and you're here, and we appreciate your commitment. Thank you, Mia. Thank you. Moving on to number 2, supportive environment annual update on the local control accountability plan, LCAP, and the local control funding formula budget overview for parents. Ms. Kathy Felder.
Thank you. I'm trying to let everyone see, so I need to come over here if that's okay. So this is our required, it's not as fun as the other stuff, but this is our required annual mid-year report for the LCAP. And it just shows how we're doing in our metrics with where we're at in our data, and then as well as our budget. Just a little bit of background. This is required by one of the Senate bills that we report this out on the board as a presentation each year before February 28th. We had no impact to our budget, so the annual LCFF budgeted amount is equal to what was reported in our June 25th because our COLA was already included when we approved the LCAP on June 25th. So those numbers match, and that was our total budgeted amount in both total LCFF as well as supplemental concentration. Just kind of shows you the three ways that we can report the data. We can either report it as it is unknown, it's known, or it's finalized. So you'll see some of these, the data is already final because it came out on our dashboard. And then in other areas, you won't see it as finalized yet because we're still in progress in the year. And then the same thing with budget expenditures, you should see about 50% of the money spent so far. But if not, it's because it's in progress and there's salaries and other programs that are built in. So here's our three goals: accomplished students, supportive environment, and empowered community. And then each and every one of our metrics that are reported in that 130-page LCAP that has to be written, they have to be reported each year. So you will see that we have our metrics, and then we have our goals, and then where we're at in implementation. And so if you see, we have appropriately signed credentials, instructional materials, we're at 100%, and then implementation of standards. And I tried to blow them up so you could at least see them because there's a lot to report. It's basically taking this 130-page document and shoving it down into a 20-page slide deck, but it's a requirement. On all of our LCAP metrics, every single subgroup that is shown on our LCAP has to be reported. So you will see that our LCAP metrics for goal 1 are listed there. And most of these, our data sources are final because they came on our dashboard, which I had already reported on back in November, December. So you have the rest of our goal 1 metrics. All the way through, we have EL reclassification, we have AP passage rate, we have CTE, and we have A through G and CTE completion rates. I'm going to scroll through to goal 2. That's where we get our graduation rate, our suspension rate, our expulsion rate, and our attendance data. We have our high school dropout rate is listed here as well. We are out of DA, so I'm proud to report that most of these have improved. And then our survey results, those are really the only ones that are unknown because we provide the survey in the spring of every year. So you won't know we won't have the results of that at the mid-year report. So those are our goal 3 metrics. And then our expenditures for each of the goals, we also have to list. So I tried to split them out. That's action 1 through 3. If you'll remember in the last LCAP round, we had 20 actions in goal 1. Now we only have 11. And so we have our core curriculum, program and personnel. Those are non-contributing, so those are general fund expenditures. And then we go into technology supports, and you will see that the budgeted amount, and then right next to it, any implementation notes. Then there's our goal actions 4 and 5. And then 6 through 8. We have tried to write in each of our planned implementation, for instance, CTE, our NJ, all of those programs fall within Goal 1 Action 4. And right now we have a lot of one-time funds that are supporting these. But when those one-time funds run out, we will need to be supporting them with our LCAP. So that's why you'll see that there may not be as much spent there at the time, but we want to be able to sustain those programs, so we build them into our LCAP. And then you have actions 9 through 11. And for the most part, we are about 50% spent, which is where we should be for all of the actions in Goal 1. Goal 2, actions 1 through 4. Again, they're all in progress and they're all at or around 50% of expenditures being spent already. Goal 3, action 1 and 2. Those are our 2 actions that have not changed. And there are parent empowerment. And again, we have the community schools grant and we have some other one-time funding sources that sustain some of the costs, especially out of the parent workshops. So you won't necessarily see that in our LCAP because we're supporting it with other funds. So it's not that we're not doing it, it's just that they're being supported by other funds. And in closing, if you can do that, because I can't see that far. There you go. So just a few things that we want to focus on. We're calling out increasing students' services that are student-centered and additional support staff. And then, one-time funding sources that are running out. We have to be very careful with our LCAP because all of those COVID funding and those type of fundings are running out. So we have to make sure that we're very careful with our money because this will be what sustains it in the out years. So This is the required report that I have to give every year, but you all know that Irma, Monica, and on the program side, we work together. We meet regularly to make sure that we're on track with our spending for our LCAP. Any questions?
No questions. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for the comprehensive report. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Kathy Felder Guerrero. It takes a lot to get to this point, I know. And you know, it's good to know, Ms. Felder Guerrero, that we're spending our money, right? Because if we don't spend this money, it doesn't go back into the general fund, it goes back into LCAP. So that's why our actions have to be completed through funding, basically. So thank you for that. Any questions?
Also, just for putting it all together, I know that the LCAP is it's a tough job. I've done it. I've done all kinds of stuff like what you're talking about, right? But you're a very comprehensive report. We appreciate it. Any at this point, are there any comments for the board?
Yes, Kathy, thank you so much for everything. I know this report is extensive, but you've helped to help us understand it better. So thank you so much for your staff as well. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you, Kathy, for breaking it down and the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for the report, and I know our numbers are slowly going up, but they're going in the right direction, so thank you for the hard work.
Thank you for the hard work and dedication that went into it to inform us and be able to, they said more than anything that it keeps on going up and climbing up, and we're able to see that difference more than anything, where the district should be and where it's going. Thank you.
Moving on to number 3, supportive environment, 6-year math plan, K-12, Kathy. Again.
Thank you. And I'm going to bring the two TOSAs up that are going to kind of co-present and then be here for any questions. So this is our 6-year math pathway proposal. And I am here presenting with Mr. Taran and Ms. Williams, who are our elementary and secondary K-12 math TOSAs. So the goal came from started with our work from UC Merced and our academies. And the reason we decided to take a really good, thorough look at our math pathway is because we felt like we were filling gaps, but we weren't accelerating as well as intervening. And so we came together to try to fix the entire pathway so that from TK through 12, we have better alignment of the math program. Here, we just wanted to talk about coursework and instruction. It's student-centered. It's aligned to this new math framework that's out, and it's got meaningful and intentional interventions done during the school day. So the purpose here is just to review the current K-12 math pathway and decide which way we are going to go, whether we continue with integrated or whether we change to a proposed back to the traditional pathway. As you know, COVID stopped our math adoptions, so we are about 3 years behind. The framework just came out, so it's important that we do this work now because we'll be up for adoption starting in July. So we wanted to just develop a pathway that allows students to reach their potential. So they need to be able to reach AP Calculus, AP Statistics, the college math courses, but in addition, create interventions during and after the school day that help meet all the goals of the district. This was really a labor of love between a whole lot of people in this district. We started with UC Merced with Mr. Serrano. We received feedback from teachers, from counselors, from administrators, from TOSAs. We really worked hard on getting advice and feedback from all parties in order to make this new pathway work for everyone. Just a very quick, we all know what our 8-year math average is in this district, and we know that it's not as high as we want it to be. So this is our current math pathway. It's basically pathway A. So you'll see that all of our elementaries, it's just your straight math all the way through. And then when you get to the junior high, you have math 7 and math 8. And then you have a pathway B once you get to 7th grade. And then in the high school, you have a pathway A, a pathway B, and a pathway C. This is current. You want to take this one? So now we're to the point where we're at a crossroads where we need to decide whether we are going to keep our integrated pathway or does the research and the new framework support us moving back to a more traditional pathway?
So good evening, members of the board, cabinet members. In discussions, that I've had and in reading the new math framework, well, not so new because it's come out for some time. What we found is that the new framework supports both, the integrated and traditional pathway. And the reason being is that there are benefits to, the integrated as well as the traditional, but it's really left up to the district's needs. And so as I see us moving towards, having more STEM fields and having our CTE grow, I see that it is beneficial for us to go back to the traditional pathway. The benefits of it, and these are outlined in the new math framework, are from the traditional pathway, are that you have better clarity and focus on specific concepts. So students immerse themselves and develop a deeper understanding of a math discipline. It's also known to have improved preparation for standardized tests. So our standardized tests, the SATs, the PSATs, the ACTs, are all centered more around the traditional pathway than they are with the integrated pathway. The other reason is that there's greater flexibility in advanced math options. So solid foundation in concepts better equips students to pursue different types of higher level math, such as AP statistics, AP calculus AB or AP calculus BC. And it's also a stronger foundation for STEM fields. So emphasis on mastery of individual concepts provides a stronger base for careers in STEM, because we are now specializing and creating jobs that we don't even know of yet for the future in the STEM field.
Awesome, thank you. You want to add?
I would like to add good evening, everyone. With that being said, I would like to emphasize our partnership with UC Merced and how it allows us to enhance our flexibility with our students' needs. Not only are we providing summer school courses at the high school for remediation, but if students would like to get excelled, they can do that at FPU using the UC Merced partnership. This will allow greater flexibility because with our summer school alignment, it is alignment with Parkdale High School. So our math courses being offered in the summer will not be different or differentiate. They will be with our standards. Same with the math pathway.
And that will cause us to have a nice, easy transition over back from integrated to traditional. And that again was done with the work with the TOSAs, Mr. Serrano, our GLSs, Mr. Mora, everyone having a say in how we didn't leave any kid behind when we were making this transition. Just a quick graphic to show you what's possible with model math courses by grade level. And then here is our proposed math pathway. Nothing really changes in our elementary. In TK through 4, we're using the new math framework. We're going to adopt according to the math framework in elementary. But where you will see the difference is in our math A and B when you get to the 5th and 6th grade. And I can't see that, can you? So you'll see you have your traditional on 5 and 6, and then you offer an honors, which again gets a little tricky when you have 4 different elementary schools, but we figured out a way to deploy often like we're doing with our ELD students and our enrichment and intervention to allow for this to happen, which would then allow that pathway C. And then in 7th and 8th, current, and then your pathway B, pre-algebra and algebra, and then you have algebra 1 and geometry in a pathway C. So you have multiple options for students starting in the 5th grade. And then here you see where the arrows are is where UC Merced's support would offer the acceleration either in Saturday and or summer academy. So it's very purposeful now instead of just trying to fill gaps. There would be multiple measures used to define how students are going to get there. So it wouldn't just be grades or their SBAC scores. We would be looking at multiple measures in order to make these choices for these students. And then when you get to Parkdale High School, you would see a traditional pathway A, right? 3 years requirement. Our district has a 3-year math requirement. But then you have a pathway B and a pathway C, which again, just like Ms. Williams mentioned, we would have UC Merced academies to help accelerate, but you'd also have summer school courses that are taught at the high school that would help support the intervention. So again, multiple measures to choose from that And then you go into the junior high, you would see how from seventh through 12th, that pathway A lends itself all the way through 11th grade with the three options at the bottom to still offer 4 years in math, even though it's not a requirement. And then pathway B and then pathway C. And then to address our lower performing students where they need the academic intervention, those would be your pathway A students, which again, possible and potential interventions would be support classes, pull out, expanded learning, Saturday academies, all of the above in order to address the interventions. So I think that's it, unless you have any questions, and I'm going to leave the experts to answer the questions. I just helped put all this together with the help of the team.
I have a question. In regards to scaffolding, you have the seventh and eighth graders. I see the A, B, and C. I understand it. I taught seventh grade math and eighth grade and so on. My question to you is, how are you going to get, what's the goal of how many students are we looking at identifying in, let's say, in the seventh grade, taking the pre-algebra class? Are we talking about a cohort? Are we talking about the half of the student body? What does that look like?
I can answer that just in general because I know they're going, oh man. So basically we would be looking at all those multiple measures and we would decide from that data how many sections we would need. So we would be backwards mapping after we looked at the data to decide how many sections of each that we need. And then we have been able to work with UC Merced to increase the number of student camps if needed. So that's why we're starting the recruitment process very early on. In fact, right after this is when we are starting the recruitment process so that we can make sure that we're not doing this in May, so that if we have 40 kids that qualify, then 40 kids will be offered and those sections will be built into the master schedule.
How many students are we looking at in terms of UC Merced taken in during the summer for the scaffolding or for the intervention?
Right now, we have 20 or 25 at each of the different areas right now that we've identified.
You say 2025, is that
Yes.
per school site or is that?
It's total per
Total.
course.
So currently, right now, just at the high school alone, we're gonna offer 5 sections. So that's gonna be Algebra 1, 2 courses of geometry, and 1 course of Algebra 2. And those will have cohorts of at least 20 to 25 students, and we are open to more.
So my concern is just the fact that we need to make sure we raise the bar. That's the most important thing.
Well,
right?
to speak to that, Mr. Serrano and I are intentionally working towards increasing those numbers by also including our students that are on the cusp of being proficient. But we're intentional about the numbers being 25 to 30 because that's a class size, right? And we want to exceed a class size. We want to have a healthy class size of 27 to 30 students because, you know, realistically, it's challenging to have small classes at the junior high, but we want to have and grow our cohorts to have, you know, 25 plus students. I know that they're intentional about having small class sizes, but that's why he's adding more teachers because he does groups of 20 so that they can really accelerate those students.
My concern is this here, sir. My concern is that we need to, like Jaime Escalante said, the students will arise to the level of expectation, meaning that if we raise the bar high enough, students will achieve that. It's imperative.
We
And
do
give me a second. Let me just finish my thought, if you don't mind. That we need to, my concern is about the fact that I don't want to have maybe only a certain cohort or a certain honors class leading the charge with only 30 kids and there's 250 kids coming in the 7th grade and only a couple of kids, a small cohort is only being able to do that. I do know that we're doing the UC Merced right now, but my concern is the fact that we need to be aggressive and we need to scaffold so that more kids have the opportunity to take the AP courses and as seniors and so on. That's been my concern for the past 4 years that I've been on the board. The fact that we seem to be watering it down. There's no plan of action. And now with both of you on and Kathy on here, I feel that we are making progress. But that's just my thoughts, but I'm sure the rest of the board has some thoughts, but math is a very integral part of my mindset and for Party Unified. I want to make sure that our students have the skill base to be able to perform and to do well whether it be going to UC Merced. I know that with Mr. Serrano at the UC Merced, I know he's a great partner. But I envision also summer schools where sixth graders going to seventh graders can take a pre-algebra summer course here at Parker Junior High this summer for 6 weeks, and perhaps not one cohort, but perhaps 3 or 4 cohorts, and or perhaps working with the UC Merced and so on. But those are my thoughts. Are there any other comments from the board? Or I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can help put your mind at ease and the whole entire board. That was one of our main concerns in doing this process was we need to raise our rigor not only in our summer academy, summer school, but actually in our classrooms as well by looking at our scope and sequence and not just visualizing units, but big ideas to big standards that better encapsulate CASP, SAT testing, just problem solving. And we want that engagement that we see at FPU with the UC Merced Academy to bring that to Parlier as well, just engagement, alignment, rigor, everything else. We would be vetting the final, the mid-final, everything we vetted through us to make sure that these students are aligned with our Parlier standards to be sure that they can succeed. So they won't be getting any different treatment as we are planning to give this rigor to all students across the board.
One of the things that I wanted to share here, because I know that's the presentation is pretty fast and informative, but we're going back to a traditional math pathway that makes sense. I mean, that's how I grew up too, and I know Nikki and other people grew up, and the number of students that we have in academies now and the number of students that we'll have this summer is gonna be the record breaking. We've never had this many students from 4th grade all the way to 8th grade and then into high school. And I want to make clear that we're at a point where we've never been before when it comes to math achievement, or I guess addressing acceleration and supports. So the work that Mr. Serrano is doing and also being supported by Kathy and the TOSAs to replicate the rigor, the engagement, everything that's happening in those classes, that we're going to be reaching a point not only right now, but in the summer where I don't think we've ever been before. So I know that this work continues. And the why, we always asked about what's the purpose behind it? What is the why? The why is because, yeah, mathematics is a gateway course to addressing the computer science achievement gap. Engineering, we just heard from our student earlier, the 8th grader that wants to be an engineer, right? And math is important because if he doesn't reach calculus, it becomes less possible. It's still possible, but it becomes easier and better when we have acceleration, which is the model that you see here, that we see here, is what we're trying to do. So I just wanted to clear it up for the board and everyone else.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to see that it's going back the way it was when I was in school here too. Thank you so much for your hard work. Last year I got to go to Fresno Pacific to watch our students participate in their summer math, and it was just awesome to see our students doing the work that they did. And I have asked that we look into getting more students into these kind of programs so that it helps our students in the future. So thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for everything that you've done and continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you. And to add to that, on a final note, we will be having all of our teachers from 3rd through 6th grade trained in building thinking classrooms to better engage the students and to have the students do the thinking in the classroom and increase the rigor of the classroom. So all of our teachers will be trained by the end of this spring, and next year it's going to be in action, meaning we will be providing the support and guidance to teachers as they're stepping into a new system and a new type of teaching, which is totally innovative and better for the students, because that's what we want. We want our students to do the thinking, not the teachers.
Thank you for your presentation. At this point, I'm going to open it up for if there's further discussion regarding this issue with the rest of the board members.
Thank you, first of all, for being able to present to us and giving us the raw data overall, to be able to see the understanding of where we're going and being able to break that down, because I know that takes a lot of hard work and time into it. So be able to see what's going to be coming for our students, what's going to be expected of them, and where they're going to be reaching. So we appreciate your guys' hard work overall with that. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a few questions. I think one of you answered, it was a learning curve. Like, we switch over, what's going to be our learning curve? And I think
Fill in
answer
the
that in your
gaps.
presentation. Cause that was probably one of my concerns, the learning curve, right, and how we change. Are we still, by changing over to traditional, is it still part of the Common Core, or are we gonna go back to traditional teaching of math? Cause I think, my opinion, Common Core was, to me, it was hard. I mean, cause I was taught one way, and when my kids would bring their homework home, I'm like, well, that's not the way I was taught to, 1 + 1 is 2, and they wanna put all that.
Well,
So-
we can't change the standards. The California standards are the California standards, but it's the way that we engage with the instruction that will help. And if you build that foundation, by the time they get to the traditional algebra one, pre-algebra, geometry, then they'll have the foundation in order to get to that.
By traditional, we're also, with the new math framework, it's the big ideas. We're no longer teaching standard by standard. I mean, that's just a painful way of teaching. No one teaches like that anymore. So what they're doing is teaching the big ideas that are important for each grade level, that have cross-cutting concepts that connect to each grade level. But by going to traditional, it's just gonna focus more in depth into what we're doing, but having everything aligned and focusing on one discipline at a time and not having this mix of integrated disciplines, which the teacher has to fill in those gaps. And so our teachers are not coming from an integrated model. They're coming from a traditional model. So those gaps aren't being filled. So that actually does a disservice to the students. So if we go to the traditional pathway, it's easier for them to embed those big ideas. That's the difference.
And I kind of agree with Mr. Modis, but as far as I'd like to see those numbers higher, So I know you said 3rd grade to 6th, they're you guys will be done with them. Now, are we gonna go into the K through 3 to really build that foundation at that level? Because I think that's where it starts, is K through 3, and then once they get to 3rd, right, we're working on concepts rather than trying to teach them the basics.
Yes, so there are new learning foundations, TK, through 3. And what we are doing and implementing in those is having the students do what are called math talks. We're doing composition and decomposition of numbers. We're doing number sets. So it's more hands-on. So what we're really trying to do in K through 3 is bring out all those manipulators and be very intentional about using those manipulators, because it's that concrete learning that the students need. So our scope and sequence, basically the way that we align our curriculum, is intentionally changing. And it's being completed. It has already been completed, but because we're gonna go into adopt a new framework, we are not teaching to a curriculum, we're teaching to the big ideas and the standards. So what's changing is how the teachers are gonna be presenting that, how they're gonna be teaching those concepts. So
And in short, over the last 2 years, we spent updating every single scope and sequence. And from TK this year, all the way through 12th grade, all the scope and sequences have been updated, and they're being aligned to the new framework. So that'll be easier for alignment. It's gonna take a little bit to get those numbers bigger, because remember, you're starting here and you don't wanna expose students to something they can't reach with the scaffolds. So that's where all of the scaffolds are coming into place, so we don't lose kids as we build those cohorts.
And I understand, and that's why I mentioned the lower grades, because in order for us to get to those numbers, we have to build our lower grades, right? So that way, when they get to that, we have a bigger pool to pull out of.
yes, and she teaches AP calculus, the biggest group we've ever had.
So currently, right now in AP pre-calculus, it's divided between sophomores and seniors. There's not really that many juniors. So there's 10th graders right now able to take pre-calculus are outperforming the seniors by a big majority, and they're able to score higher on PSATs, their CASP, their iReady scores. We already have the numbers. It's just growing them bigger than 20. Maybe next year it's going to be 25, then 30, then 40. That's where numbers start to build, and we need to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, I know it ain't gonna happen overnight, the numbers, but I know I'll just make, we could
And Mr. Molina,
eventually get to that.
yeah, Mr. Molina, what you're saying too is something that I've heard too, like the fact that, like I grew up too with the 12x12 multiplication table, and we had to memorize that, right? And it became part of the routine for being able to do division and, the subtraction and addition, the basics, right? I think in having a conversation too with Ms. Gonzalez recently, she's like, hey, are we gonna, because Common Core is complicated for families to, tutor their kids at home or to support them. And they were taught in a different way growing up. And sometimes at the university level, they're still keeping the traditional way of doing things. It's starting to change with AI and the new generation of students, but I think there's an interest from the board to see, oh, are we going to go back to the basics? And the answer is yes, we got to break it down early on. Early literacy efforts will also support the early math efforts, because if the kids know how to read a problem, they're going to know, they're going to understand it at a higher order way to be able to answer it too.
All right, thank you. And thank you for your work. Presentation.
At this point, is there further discussion regarding this issue?
I just wanted to, thank you, Kathy, and your team for, the presentation and putting it together. I see how you guys are all working together. You're working with the high achievers and also bringing in for those that have difficulty understanding the math. And I understand how there's that gap between the 10th and the 11th grade. Hopefully in the future, we are able to bring them all up accordingly. But for the ones that are struggling, I really emphasize that we do keep giving them the tutorial, giving them the help, the support, just to, meet those standard grades. So thank you guys for the presentation. If I have any other questions, I will address it to Dr. Iniguez. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up for our TOSAs and Kathy and the team. Thank you so much. Very
Before you
important.
leave, just want to make a quick comment. You can stay there, it's okay. My question or my comment is this here, just the fact that, first of all, I want to thank you. I think the board here is favoring a traditional curriculum, Kathy. I think at this point right now, that's the direction we want to take. It's very encouraging. But I think I want to thank both of you for your presentation, and Kathy also for a comprehensive report. We're going to move forward. We're going to move on, and we're going to improve our academic math scores and opportunities. I want to thank Mr. Serrano from UC Merced for giving us, Parlor Unified, the opportunity to participate and engage on the Saturday meetings, as well as during the summers. I've seen the engagement. I've been there. I've seen it with Dr. Iniguez. I do thank you, Dr. Iniguez, for seeing the elements of UC a traditional versus the core curriculum that we have, and looking at what can we do better? How can we do it better? And so I think this is a really good direction that we're taking. So I just wanted to make a quick comment about that. Thank you, Dr. Iniguez.
Thank you, Mr. Madison. You made a great point about also thanking Mr. Serrano. He couldn't make it tonight, but I know he's been a critical team player in this. I know they've even presented at recent conferences, and he's passionate about math work because he knows it's a gateway course to post-secondary success, whether that's universities or CTE or NJ or, naval careers or military science. And so I know that the work that we're doing now it is already very instrumental, intentional. So, and Mr. Serrano, I know he watches our board meeting, so he might be watching. So thank you too, Mr. Serrano.
Moving on to K, routine consent agenda items. Is there a motion to approve the agenda items? Motion by Mary, is there a second? Second by Mr. Sid, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, motion carried, 5-0. Moving on to number L. Yes, sir.
Okay, the board just took some action. The board just took some action on the personnel report, and one of those items on the personnel report is to approve the appointment of the next community services coordinator. And the role entails a lot of services as far as communication, social media, translations. And so it's part of our goal 3, community empowered community, something that we've envisioned bringing back to the district since the previous individual took that role. And so at this time, I'd like to congratulate, and all of us congratulate her and welcome her to the podium. Amy Hernandez Calderon as our new Community Services Coordinator. And she has a speech, and I know her family is also here tonight, so she has a speech for us in English and Spanish. Sí, en español también, ¿verdad? Sí.
Just talked a lot, so my throat kind of hurts. Sorry. But you're good. So first of all, good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent,
colleagues, and community members. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you tonight. I am filled with gratitude for this incredible opportunity, and I thank you for entrusting me with this role and for your confidence to my commitment to serving our community. As a proud Parlier alumna, it is deeply meaningful to give back to the place that shaped me and the community that has given me so much. If I cry, guys, I'm so sorry. I am eager to continue reshaping the narrative of Parlier Unified, highlighting the incredible opportunities it offers and the outstanding individuals that it produces. I am fortunate to work alongside passionate colleagues who share the same vision of progress and excellence, and for that, I am thankful and grateful to each of you. This moment would not be possible without the unwavering support of some very special people. It's my fiance, Esteban. Thank you for your patience, for your love, and for your understanding. Thank you for always pushing me to be the best version of myself, for checking in on me during some of these late meetings, and for even driving out here to carry my devices. Your support means the world to me, and I appreciate you with all my heart. To my parents, it is an honor to say that I am the proud daughter, oh my God, of immigrants who came to this country with nothing, oh my God, yet gave me everything. You have instilled in me the values of education, hard work, and perseverance. And in moments of doubt, I look to your strength, your sacrifices, and your unwavering reminder to always échale ganas, mija. Your belief in me has been my foundation, and I am eternally grateful for your love and support. Tonight, I stand here not just as an individual, but a reflection of the community, my family, and my mentors who have shaped my journey. Thank you for believing in me. I will say this in Spanish because my mom's going to scold me if I don't. So lo voy a decir en español porque si no me va a regañar mi mamá. Buenas noches, junta directiva, superintendente, colegas y miembros de la comunidad. Es un honor y un privilegio estar ante ustedes esta noche, llenos de gratitud por esta increíble oportunidad. Gracias por confiarme este puesto y por su confianza en mi compromiso a servir a nuestra comunidad. Como orgullosa exalumna de Parlier, es profundamente significativo dar de regreso al lugar que me formó y a la comunidad que tanto me ha dado. Estoy ansiosa por seguir mejorando la narrativa del distrito de Parlier, destacando las increíbles oportunidades que ofrece y las personas excepcionales que produce. Tengo la suerte de trabajar junto a colegas apasionados que comparten la misma visión de progreso y excelencia, y por eso estoy agradecida con cada uno de ustedes. Este momento no pudiera haber sido posible sin el apoyo de algunas personas muy especiales. A mi prometido, Esteban, gracias por tu paciencia, amor y comprensión. Gracias por siempre impulsarme a ser la mejor versión de mí misma, por estar al pendiente de mí en las juntas que van un poquito más tarde, e incluso manejar hasta acá para ayudarme a cargar mis dispositivos. Tu apoyo significa mucho para mí y te aprecio con todo mi corazón. A mis padres, es un honor decir que soy la orgullosa hija de inmigrantes. Llegaron a este país sin nada, pero me dieron todo. Me han inculcado los valores de la educación, el trabajo duro y la perseverancia. Y en los momentos, I swear, y en los momentos de duda recurro a su fuerza, sus sacrificios y su inquebrantable recordatorio de échale ganas, mija. Su fe en mí ha sido mi base y les estaré significativamente y eternamente agradecida por su amor y su apoyo. Esta noche estoy aquí no solo como una persona, sino como un reflejo de la comunidad, la familia y los mentores que han dado forma a mi camino. Gracias por creer en mí.
This point, I want to open it up to the board to make, if there's any comments from the board.
Well, congratulations. Look forward to many, many more beautiful articles about the achievement of our students and our staff. That you started as an interpreter years ago for IEPs, and you did a fantastic job doing that too. So thank you. Thank your family. So very, very proud of you. And just keep on smiling.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm just gonna be short. Congratulations, Amy. My tears were almost coming out, but you deserve it. Thank you.
Glad to know I'm not the only one.
Congratulations, and your parents are looking at you proud. They're proud of you, proud of your accomplishments. So, thank you for the service you do for the district.
Thank you.
Señorita Calderon, congratulations, first of all. Working alongside you, got to see the dedication that you serve, not just in the role that you are now, but obviously the students, because you started off just as a tutor here not too long ago. You made the impact there, and you continue to do so, not just now in one school set, but through across the district. And being able to see what you're going to be able to do now all across the whole district, even more now in this role, is going to be amazing to see. And we wish you the very best. And we're here to support you as much as we can. So, best of luck.
Thank you, Sid.
Amy, I'm intrigued with your intellectual prowess, your ability, your vision to create something out of nothing quickly, fast. You and Dr. Iniguez are amazing in terms of putting out these social media posts in English and in Spanish. Like Mr. Sid said, I can only imagine now that you're going to have the full time, the ability to work on it, right? Now we have to hire probably somebody, a bilingual person or whatever. But I'm so satisfied and so happy for your success and for all the hard work. You're an amazing individual, and God bless you and this new work that you're doing. And I wish you the best. And I also want to recognize your father. Can you have your father please stand? Por favor, señor, si el papá de Amy puedes puesto de pie, por favor. Vamos a dar un gran aplauso a usted. ¿Su mamá también está aquí? ¿A poco? Ojalá que los dos pueden venir al frente para decir unas palabras, por favor. Mamá,
He's shy.
también el fiancé también, si gusta.
Fiance, the dad, the mom, if you can come forward, please.
Pues si
Señora,
puede
puede
venir al
pasar
frente,
al
por favor.
frente, y también Esteban, ¿verdad? Para pasar, por favor.
Y tiene unas
Buenas
palabras
tardes
a decir.
todos. Gracias por darle la oportunidad a mi hija. Estoy ocupado. En nombre de mi esposa, que va a ser mi segundo hijo. Le damos las gracias a todos ustedes y a la comunidad que los ha apoyado. Gracias.
Mamá.
Buenas tardes a todos. Pues les doy las gracias por darle la oportunidad a mi hija, y independientemente de la oportunidad, yo sé que ella, desde que era chiquita, desde que estaba en el kinder, se esmeraba, siempre fue una niña muy estudiosa, siempre le puso ganas y mucha pasión a todo lo que ella hace, y yo sabía que dentro de ella había las ganas de triunfar, había las ganas de querer algo más. Siempre confié en ella y siempre supe que iba a poder. Gracias.
Hello, everybody. I didn't expect to do a little speech, but I just want to say I'm very proud of my fiance. She has done a lot. I always encourage her to follow her dreams. Ever since I met her, she's been a go-getter, and that's what I love about her. And she's just an amazing person. So I'm glad she has this position, and looking forward to what she's gonna be doing. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Iniguez, any closing words?
And, just to close, Amy, I'm very proud of you. I'm inspired by you. You're a Latina who inspires first generation. Eres un gran orgullo para la comunidad de Parlier. Y yo tuve el placer de conocer a tu padre y a tu madre recientemente. Y yo sé que están muy orgullosos de usted, de ti, right? And so you're a wonderful individual. We reached this level because we saw, obviously you went through the interview process and you're clearly the outlier as far as the outcome of that interview. And I'm not surprised by that because you just take the initiative. But you're a family person. You're a great daughter, a great colleague, a great person to say hello to every morning. And we really enjoy having you at the district. So very well deserved, and congratulations. Let's give it up for Amy one more time, please. So also, it's a reversal of what usually happens, but tonight, since you're the star, and you're always a star, but extra shining star tonight, We're gonna take a picture if you want to invite your family. I know that our translators are, who are volunteers too, Lady and Emily are here too, and they're supporting you, and they're gonna take a group picture of all of us to basically commemorate this on social media, that you're now part of Unified's newest addition to the management team as communication services coordinator. So at this time, if your family would like to join you and your fiance and the board members, anyone, cabinet members for a picture. Congratulations to Amy Hernandez Calderon. Give it up one more time for Amy Hernandez Calderon.
Again, Amy, thank you. We are so fortunate to have you serve in a new capacity. Thank you. At this point, this is a short agenda. We're gonna be done in the next 10 minutes, but for those, yeah, for those of you that would like to leave at this point right now, the administrators, you're more than welcome. If you want to stay another 10 minutes and congratulate Amy and everybody else, you're more than welcome. Moving on to general agenda, the digital learning plan, Kathy Fielder.
We good? Okay.
You're on.
So although this is not a requirement, we decided that it is imperative that we adopt a digital learning plan. So this is for years 24 through 27. And yes, I know you said be quick, so I will be quick, but this took a committee over the course of 2 years to put together. So it covers, and I just want to thank the people that were on the committee. We have Javier Martinez, myself, Mr. Juan Reynoso, Monica Collazo, Susie Salazar, Ana Villarreal, Pua Vang, Irma Torres, Sergio Morales, Filiberto Ramos, Lynette Knaple, Anthony Cardenas, Hector Urbieta, Samantha Wagner, Ricky Ortega, Mariano Collazo, Manuel Sanchez, Adriana Mendez, Michaela Rodriguez, Juan Pata, April Marie Aguilar, Gedelia Sandoval, and Jose Garza. So all of those people came together. It's been about 8 meetings from 3:30 to 5 over the course of the last 2 years to put this digital learning plan together. So the premise of this is to ensure that we have adequate student and teacher technology and staff technology. We have digital implementation of professional development. We have a refresh cycle. We budget for that refresh cycle, and we provide integrated professional development and coaching around digital literacy, and then, of course, adding in new artificial intelligence. So this is our 3-year plan that we are taking to the board for approval.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda item? Motion by Mary, is there a second? Second by Mr. Sid, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Is, oh, I guess, go 4-0 then. Number 2, National University Master of Social Work Agreement, Dr. Alvarado.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Superintendent Iniguez, Board Member Matas, and members of the board and cabinet, community members. This is another opportunity to get into an intern cooperative with National University. And this evening, we actually have 2 interns that are helping Amy in the translation interpretation, and we have Emily and Lede here. And that has already proven to be very, very resourceful and very important, not only to Amy in the role that she serves for our district, but for our community as a whole. So this is another opportunity for an internship in the social work area. So this person would be working with Miriam Andres, our FACE coordinator, to be able to bring more services and opportunities for our community members. So the request of cabinet that we approve this particular agenda item as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda item? Motion by Mary, is there a second? Second by Sid, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, 4-0. Moving on to number M, general agenda, business facility safety, contract, PBK, architects, fee proposal, Parker High School Stadium, replacement, Dr. Iniguez?
So this is a shared item here with, with everyone. This item here belongs to the staff, to the alumni, to the community. And, in speaking with Irma, Renee Rodriguez, this is a highlight, one of the highlights of tonight as well. And this item here is a fee proposal for the brand new Parlor High School Athletic Complex. This is a contract with PBK Architects in the amount of up to $12 million for estimated construction costs, which also includes a 6% fee for architects. Approval tonight, as you can see there, the funding source is Measure P, which just passed the district, it passed with the city of Parlier back in November of 2024. And if the board wishes to pass this item tonight, that allows a domino effect for the future construction of the Parlier High School Athletic Complex, brand new football field, stadium, track, and all of the above. And so if the board wishes to approve this tonight, I don't know if Irma, you have anything to add or anything? Okay. I pretty much summarized this, Measure P, but it's a huge deal. It is a huge deal. We're not just talking, we're taking action.
Let's move forward. Is there a motion to approve the agenda item? Motion by Elena, second by Mary, all in favor? Aye, 5-0. Let's move forward and let's build, let's build it and they will come, right? That movie? That's right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I heard a motion, right? It was motion and it was 5-0, 5-0 approved. And at this point, I do have a banner for a picture, Mr. Matis, and the board and any community members, cabinet members, if you want to be part of this picture. I did share this with Amy, and we do have a banner because it just passed and that we want to hold up for a picture. This is our way to announcing it to the community that we're moving forward with the next steps of the Parlier High School football field and stadium.
Still got a long way to go.
Give us about 3 more minutes and we'll be done, and we'd like to congratulate everybody, okay? Moving on to number N, general agenda, personnel administrative services. Is there a motion to approve the agenda item? Motion by Mary, is there a second? I'll second it. Mr. Modas. All in favor? Aye, motion carried, 5-0. Moving on to number 2, approval of a memorandum of understanding, MOU between California School Employee Association, CSEA, Chapter 396 and Party Unified School District regarding the Jimmy Carter Floating Holiday. A. Guerrero.
Yes, good evening. This MOU is supported by our CBA and in the CSEA. There is language that support this. Therefore, we're proposing this agenda item as recommended.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda item? Motion by Mary, second. Second by Elena. All in favor? Aye, motion carried, 5-0. Number 3, approval of a memorandum of understanding between the Party Faculty Association and Party Unified School District regarding the temporary hourly rate increase. A. Guerrero.
Yes, again, thank you and good evening. As last year, we have funds, grant funds to be able to support this and make this increase to get more participations from our teachers for the after-school tutoring as well as summer school. Our recommendation is to approve as presented.
So nice salary increase. Is there a motion to approve the agenda item? Motion by Mary. Is there a second? Second by Elena. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried, 5-0. The new TK requirements. A. Guerrero.
Yes, good evening again. This is a requirement that the board approves our TK requirements. We're bringing it back as an or. So candidates can have either 27 units of early childhood or at least 1 full year of teaching experience in the lower grades such as kindergarten. Our recommendation is approved as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the item? Motion by Mary. Is there a second? Second by Elena. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried, 5-0. Board member reports. Mr. Molina, do you have any reports? Anything you'd like to share?
I got a few things. I want to congratulate the girls basketball and the boys soccer. Right, they went to playoffs. They fell a little short, but they represented us really good. So, and also the boys basketball went out there to see them. They're playing hard out there. They're getting better. So, I think we got our sports are moving the right direction. Also the new stadium that we just approved. I believe we're gonna have 9 lanes, so we could host an actual track meet. I know we had a track meet, I think this past weekend in Greeley, and our kids did pretty good. I heard her kids. My daughter went. She said they did pretty good. But she was out there taking stats, I think. But she said I think a couple of records were broken and some other stuff. So I want to congratulate all those athletes and tell them thank you for representing Parler good and congratulations on their accomplishments.
Thank you, Mr. Molina. Miss Mary Sanchez.
Well, I'd like to thank all of the athletes. Of course, their accomplishments are fabulous, and I know it's been a long time coming. And I want to thank all our staff that is out there with our students. And also, I want to thank all our presenters. Mrs. Guerrero, it's your team is, you and your team are just fabulous. You're doing a great job. I love that we're not in the DA anymore. And I know it's because it's coming from your office. And I want to thank you and your staff. I want to thank all of our principals, our learning directors, our counselors. Thank you all, because it takes all of us, it takes all of you to get our students where they are. And I know that you're going to continue, and they're going to continue doing better. So thank you all so much for all your work. Mrs. Regalado, thank you for keeping us in our financial position, because going over it earlier in closed session, I want to thank you. A lot of work. Thank your staff. Oh, and HR, of course. Wonderful job. Thank you.
Mr. Sid, is there, you have any comments?
Yeah, I want to first off congratulate our boys soccer for as well for making it that far into the playoffs, as well as our girls basketball. And all our sports that are excelling right now for our softball team that just won recently their scrimmage, and just the season ahead for our boys and girls in baseball, and the sports that are coming to that track too for Mr. David Garcia that broke the record for parlier at the track meet. So for the long jump, I believe. So congratulations to him. I want to thank Mr. Collazo for opening up the doors for the Cesar Chavez Elementary. On Monday, I was able to be out there, spend some time with him, as well as introduce myself, receive parents that I hadn't seen in a while, introduce myself to students, and be able to see what the classrooms are all about. Being able to see the hands-on that teachers how they have the structure and they're captivating the students to be able to learn the Spanish language as well as the English language, and how it's going based off of like somewhat that reminded me more or less of how I went to school, where there was bilingual, a class were bilingual 50-50, and there's implementations more than anything that are important and vital for our community, especially in the Hispanic community. As well, being able to visit the high school a little bit. Got to see Mr. Flores' welding class as well, so got to see the kids engaged, the projects that they're working on, whether it be the trash cans or whether it be the big rig that they're doing for the smoker, for the food, for the stuff for the whole district. It's great to see the kids engaged and interactive more than anything, that they're actually wanting to be there. And it's a class that is growing, and the CTE pathways keep on growing and will continue to grow. Something that captivates our students more than anything, that keeps them engaged and keeps them wanting to come back for more. That's the things that we're trying to implement at all sites, that students want to be there, and they are more than welcome to be there. It's a family-oriented environment that they makes them feel safe, and that they're actually growing and learning and becoming better for the future. So with that, thank you.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, I know most of the board already touched bases on this, but I just wanted to say, congratulations to the high school girls basketball team for making playoffs. They had a great season. I also wanted to say for the boys basketball and continuing playing hard throughout the season, congratulations to the soccer team who also made it to the playoffs. Great season. Congratulations to the wrestling team and also the PHS color guard, and to all the students that participated in any and all athletic clubs, band clubs, organizations. Great work. And representing our district. I've seen a lot of posts Amy has been putting out there, and it's so nice to see all that going on. Now, I guess we're off to baseball and softball season. I just wanted to say also congratulations to all the employees of the year that were selected. Also, the touch bases on the great job the board and district for approving the girls softball scoreboard. It looks fantastic out there. That's awesome. Any updates on the installation of the boys baseball scoreboard, when that might be going up? Just want to ask on that. One last thing. I just want to encourage all school sites to register for this year's roundup parade that's going to be taking place on the 26th at 11 o'clock. Anyone interested, it's going to be posted. I think it's already been posted. Please. Okay, thank you, Amy. So anybody who's interested, please. It's neat to see all our schools come together on this parade and see everybody out there. So thank you. Oh, one more thing. I know that it was a scary situation, but I just wanted to say thank you. It was in regards to the immigration and deportation issues that were going back and forth with the school. I just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Iniguez and all the staff for reassuring parents, the students, and the community that we have a plan of action. Thank you for all the hard work that you guys all do, and thank you.
Well, I think first and foremost, I'd like to thank this board for being cordial, kind to each other, and leading and dedicating your time. You know, we were out here either twice or once a month, but not only that, we're during the week we're touching bases with our superintendent to find out where we're at on certain projects. Like Elena mentioned, I was concerned the other day when the electricity went off. Like, well, what's our plan? What are we going to do? What's happening? A lot of questions going on. I want to thank the board and this board also for approving my attendance and Mary's attendance at the recent literacy conference down in New Orleans. I had a great opportunity to learn about the letters programs, about literacy in our program, what's happened, where we've been in the past, where are we at today, and where we headed. I especially want to thank Kathy and the Tulsas for all the good work, the hard work, the dedicated work, and also for getting us out of a program improvement, or program assistance, excuse me. But the opportunity to engage and to attend conferences is so important. I want that for everybody in our school district, right? Whether it be coordinators or principals, vice principals. In order for us to improve, we have to get better. We have to attend sessions, whether it be in our district or whether it be in our state or out of the state. But it's imperative that we develop a mindset of growth and that we engage in attending conferences and learning about what's on the cutting edge that's happening today. Also want to thank all the ball players, the high school, junior high school students that play football, basketball, they're all the sports. It's just amazing. And I want to thank Amy for keeping us informed of all of the items in Dr. Inigas. I mean, it's like these guys are like a machine, right? It's amazing of the synergy and the new leadership that we have in our district office, especially with our leadership and Dr. Johnny and our HR leader, Fred Guerrero. Even though he's a Cowboys fan, we're okay. I love teasing the guy about being a Cowboy fan. But I want to thank also Mr. Clausen. Is he here? Mr. Clausen, can you stand up? We want to recognize you for being the Teacher of the Year. That's a great award. That is amazing. Amy, for classified, congratulations. Stand up, would you please? Stand up, Amy. Come on. Stand up. There you go. There she is, right there. Thank you. And having your mom and dad here, that's so sweet. I really appreciate it. And our very own Dr. Inigas for being the Administrator of the Year, for you voting for him. Let's give him a big round of applause. Good job. In closing, the new parlor is about being sensitive, being kind, having a mindset, and just being considerate of everybody's job and the job that we do. It's a very challenging job every day. Whether you're a coordinator, you're a principal, you're a vice principal, but together we make Parlier great. And I want to thank each and every one of you for the great work that you do coming in and out every single day. Don't think you're not noticed. God sees us. God sees you. The superintendent sees you. We see you. And we appreciate all the good work as we instill greatness with our little ones. Today, as I saw Nikki today, I remember her when she was a little girl, and now today she's serving in a different capacity. But to be able to see, our youngsters come up the ranks and make a difference, it's about being kind and being considerate for everything we do. Thank you so much for allowing us to serve you. This board says thank you. We appreciate the whole community of Parlier. Thank you, Dr. Inigas, for everything.
Thank you, Mr. Manis.
Let me just move on to the next one. Any future agenda items for Ms. Gonzalez?
Not at this time, thank you.
Mr. Molina?
Yeah, I got a few. First, I want to thank, I didn't mention, Mr. Rodriguez here. They had the food drive for community schools, right?
That's
and
right.
I know that's been coming along pretty good, so.
Mr. Lopez and
I
also
mean, Mr. Lopez, I'm sorry.
Mrs. Caulfield.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not where he gets from. But, yeah, I've heard great things, and that's awesome job that they're doing. I think it's much needed to our community, and that's gonna grow.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Molina. Food insecurity is the biggest concern of our family, so yes, it's great to have a pantry in place.
Yeah, because that was one of our number one
Mhm.
concern when we did our survey a few years back. So
Mhm.
fit that need is great.
Yeah.
So on far as future agenda items, I just want to thank them. I forgot to mention them. Is for our CTE pathways, I was looking at if we could look into like AI, right? Because that's a big thing going on right now, artificial intelligence. And I think we should get into some conversations about how we could, integrate that into our, CTE pathways, because that's the future. And I think if we could get our kids, on that, we could be, on the cutting edge of it and get our students in it, the ones that want to do it, we could, really do a lot of things with it for our kids. I'm
Okay.
sure there's a lot of, and I know I've been looking, there's a lot of money out there
Yeah.
for it, so, if we could just look into that. I want to thank, Dr. Iniguez about talking to the city, also about the roundabout. I think we need to have conversations, as a board and as a district, because I think, that's gonna be, may be good for traffic. I don't think it's gonna be very good for our students crossing that intersection. I've been through roundabouts. Some people don't know how to use them, and pedestrians definitely do not know. And it's hard to cross a roundabout, with the traffic we have going down that road and have a roundabout at that, because that's a very busy intersection for our students that cross. Or sometimes I'm parked there for 5 minutes waiting for our students to cross. So,
Yeah.
I
And
think,
Mr. Molina, on that note too, I wanted to share that I got a response from the city, and we're planning to have a joint meeting either the last Wednesday of March or the first Wednesday of April, but I just wanted to confirm whether that was the case, because a roundabout looks nice and it seems nice, right? But as it is, our students struggle to cross the street on a four-way stop with all the traffic and the rush in the morning. So my concern, and something that I share with Mr. Mares and we as a board too, I think we're just concerned about student safety, given what happened 2 years ago at Parley Junior High School here on the crosswalk. And so thank you for noting that, because that's our stance right now.
and my last one is, I know we had the fentanyl awareness, do we have Narcan ready available for our staff? Because I think that's important. I know, as far as, where I work in the prison, we've, probably go through quite a bit of it there, and everybody has it readily available. So I think if we're gonna have it available for the people where I work at, I think we need to have it available in our school district, because there has been cases where, they've lost students at different high schools and junior highs from, kids, eating something they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
We have the faster you get it to the person that needs it, the better
Yeah.
chance of it.
Johnny, we do have Narcan in storage, right, with our health department?
Yes, last year, at the beginning of the year, we did, volunteer trainings. They're not mandatory unless we figure out during staff meeting we can do that. And we did have a number of staff participate in that. I think we had 3 different opportunities. And, in working with Viviana, Nikki, and Zulema, we are looking at starting those, trainings again. So I think our best bet is gonna be to do it at an all-staff meeting. We control the time, and so we can control the agenda as well, so we can go through that training.
It's something I hope we never use, but
Yeah.
something that we should. I
We
think
should
have.
be aware of and have available, correct?
Thank you, Mr. Molina. Mr. Sid, is there any future agenda items?
Yeah, no, I don't know future agenda items. I just there's something that I completely missed, which Ms. Gonzalez brought up, was the Parley wrestling team as well. The 3 wrestlers that made it was Jesus, Romero, and Matthew, that they made all the way to Masters. And thank you to the coaches that for the dedication throughout the season for them, which was Coach Garza, Coach Velasco, Coach Collazo, and Coach Mendez. So thank you guys for the hard work, and as well as Mr. Chanili and Mr. Afu, what they're doing, an amazing job with the band, and even our color guard that placed pretty highly this last competitions that they did. So thank you guys for all your guys' hard work and dedication.
Ms. Sanchez, is there any future items? I don't have any future agenda items, but the only thing I have, I think that we need to bring to the agenda is gonna be the safety issue what Mr. Molina mentioned, the roundabout. This is a main concern for me, and as well as I'm sure for the rest of the board and our community, as we take a look at the safety effect of a roundabout in the middle of Parley. What happens in the city affects the school, right? Because these are kids coming to school, but Dr. Iniguez, if you can make that one of the agenda items when we do meet with them, it's very important, okay?
Sounds good.
Also want to recognize Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores, you're always here. You're like the Pied Piper all the time. You and Clausen, like Batman and Robin, you guys are always indispensable, taking care of business. Pied Pipers, you're here on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. I mean, like, you guys are taking care of business. I really admire the dedication. I want to tell you that much, and as well as all the other teachers too. But thank you also for all your hard work. And we also had our principals, our coordinators, directors here, our programs. Thank you so much for being here. With that, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion by Mary, second by Mr. Sid. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried 5-0. Thank you. Next board meeting is March 11th.